Hi all and welcome to the cabin. Today I am happy to report that I have received my Kickstarter pledge from Warzone Eternal, the new skirmish miniatures game by Rest Nova. I can't wait to check this out, so let's get to it. Well, the day has finally come. I received my package in the mail today. I've been waiting literally years for this, and I'm so excited to finally get to see the product for myself. So let's get started. Ooh, that is amazing. As you can see, I ordered quite a lot. Probably too much. But I got really excited during the Kickstarter. Let's get everything out of here and we'll take a closer look at some of these items. First up, we have these two books. The Warzone Eternal Rulebook, which is a smaller format softback book, which is, handy when you're playing the game. You can bring it with you in your bag or whatever. And then you have the War Stories book, same format, and this one is all fiction. A bunch of short stories by these authors right here, including Brian C.P. Steele, which is the main designer of the rules of the game. Then we have all of these different sets from Death Ray Designs. As you can see, I asked for retail packaging, so this is what they will look like when you get them in stores. We have different objective marker sets for all the different factions, plus a generic one. And there's also a counter set of acrylic tokens, as well as a movement template. Each faction also has its own decal sheet, and you also have two exclusive dice, one which features the Brotherhood symbol and the other one the Dark Legion or Algaroth symbol. I think these look really good, and it's been such a long time since we had Warzone decals available to buy. There's also a Kickstarter exclusive t-shirt which features the different faction symbols surrounding a Warzone Eternal logo in the middle. But now we come to probably the most exciting bit, the miniatures themselves. Here's an example of the retail packaging for a Razid, or Razide, or however you want to pronounce it. Like I said, I asked for the retail packaging because I'm quite the Mutant Chronicles collector, but for those who don't really care about that kind of thing, the Kickstarter also sent out these normal plastic bags for the backers. Let's take a closer look at the Razid. These miniatures are made of Cyocast, a material that I've featured before on the channel from the Warlord Games line of ABC Warriors. As you can see, this material is able to replicate fine details quite well, and it's also sturdy when you're using the miniatures to game with. Each faction in the game has one of these starter sets, and it's a good way to get a few miniatures assembled and try out what the Force feels like on the battlefield. This first wave of Kickstarter miniatures also includes a bunch of different expansion boxes, which adds extra units or expanded options for the miniatures in the starter set. I think the sculpts of these miniatures are really good, and the Cyocast material mostly does them justice. There are, however, a few mold lines and flash that you would need to remove with a sharp hobby knife. It could be a little bit tricky to use files on this material, because sometimes it gets kind of fuzzy and it doesn't really look good after you've used it. In hand, I have to say the details are really good on these models. As you can see, they're cast in 2024 by Trenchworks, and Warzone Eternal is now actually available to buy outside of the Kickstarter. You can go to the Trenchworks website, which I've linked in the description and pinned comment down below, But you should know that the new batch of these miniatures that is being sold to everyone is actually made of something called snap tray, which is a type of 3D printed material that you can remove yourself from the tray, hence the name. So if you're waiting for your Kickstarter to arrive in Europe, or you're buying this from a third-party retailer, Siocast is probably what you're gonna get. But if you're ordering directly from Trenchworks, it's gonna be their new snap tray technology. And in other exciting Warzone Eternal news, Transatlantis Games has actually partnered up with Resnova to be the new publisher of Warzone Eternal. If you didn't know, this company produces the Too Thin Coats line of paints that Duncan Rhodes uses on his channel. They're also a bigger company compared to Resnova, so I think that's going to be good for the future of the game, as it allows the whole franchise to expand quicker and in hopefully a more widespread way. The really good news is that Big Bob Watts himself, one of the founders of Warzone back in the day when Heartbreaker and Target Games started producing miniatures in the Warzone and Mutant Chronicles universe, is actually the boss at Transatlantis Games. So I think the game is in really good hands moving forward. I think Alex and Brian did a really good job at bringing back Warzone to the 2025 market. And luckily, they're still both on board for the design and the rules of this game. So I think it's a win-win situation where we can expand this game and hopefully reach a wider audience, while retaining the quality and authenticity that Resnova has brought to this game so far. I won't have time to show you each and every available miniature, but you can go to the Trenchworks website to check out the entire range for yourself. I also hope to paint some of the Dark Legion miniatures on the channel in the near future. If you're interested in running a tournament for this game, there is also a tournament kit that you can buy directly from Brian. This kit features 2 Brotherhood coins that have a really nice finish to them, a sew on patch, a Warzone Eternal sticker, and a USB drive which has all the documents and diplomas and everything you need to run your tournament. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on future content. We'll see you next time. Good luck with your miniatures.